Please welcome back Stacy Lindsay.
Thank you. Welcome back from lunch. Oh, I hope you were in the earlier sessions. They were amazing, and we had such great industry forum meetings and epic meetings. Thank you for your participation. We're excited to have honey Hireme-Smiler here with us today to share her caregiver perspective. Honey is a well-accomplished ex-professional athlete, a dual rugby league, rugby union international who's been an exceptional flag bearer for New Zealand. Honey's sporting career, lots of woos, honey. Honey's sporting career spanning 18 years at the top level saw her appointed to the Queen's honorary role as a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit for her services to sport. Following her playing career, Honey took up a role as a TV presenter and commentator with Sky Sport. She has 10 years of experience working within the health and disability sector, having worked in areas of mental health, disability, and palliative care, as a cultural advisor for a regional hospice. Honey's wife, Rochelle, was diagnosed with stage 4 extrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma in 2021 at the age of 39. They have 3 teenage sons and a 1-year-old granddaughter. Honey has been Rochelle's primary carer as they navigate this time in their lives. Welcome, Honey.
Kia ora. Tēnei te mihi atu ki a koutou katoa, ko Honey Hireme-Smiler tōku ingoa, he uiau no Aotearoa. Kia ora everybody, my name is Honey, I'm from New Zealand, and I just really appreciate you allowing me to share my story today. I'd like to start by acknowledging the foundation, just the invitation to speak and share our story and supporting my wife and I to come here to what has been such an amazing and hugely insightful conference. Here we go. In New Zealand, we've got a population of around 5 million people, and my wife and I, we live in the middle of the North Island, which is up the top there, in a place called Hamilton. New Zealand is a rugby nation, and we're pretty well known for our men's rugby team, the All Blacks, and also the haka, which is the war dance that they perform before each match. It's quite common for kids growing up there to be given a rugby ball at quite an early age. So, who are we? Well, I'm a caregiver for my wife Rochelle, and we've been married for around almost 5 years, and we've been together for 12 years. We have a blended family of 3 boys. They're aged 23, 21 and 19, and the 2 oldest boys, Tyrone and Kieran, they both have moved out of home and they're working full time, but still tend to come home and raid our fridge and try to get us to do their washing. And our youngest is Karishan, he's 19, he hasn't quite left the nest yet, but he is a good babysitter for our dog while we're over here. And Rochelle and I, we both come from pretty big families. She's got 10 siblings. And prior to her diagnosis, we had already suffered quite a lot of loss. 3 weeks before she got sick, she lost her brother, who was 40, and he died of a sudden heart attack. 4 months before that, her grandmother died, and a year prior, my mum passed away. Rochelle and I, we both lost our mums to cancer. Her mum had melanoma, and my mum had stomach cancer. We both had been our mum's primary carers during that time. If you haven't already figured out though, sports, or more specifically rugby, is a huge part of our life. Rugby is where Rochelle and I met, and having both been raised in very sporty families, I started playing at the age of 5 in boys' teams, and Rochelle picked up the game when she was in high school. We wound up playing in the same club team when we moved to Hamilton, and our love for rugby got quite serious, and we went on to play for our provincial representative teams. I was lucky enough to be one of the first professional female rugby players in New Zealand and rewarded with a full-time contract and more importantly, being able to financially support my family. Our boys played rugby as well, so our life revolved around trainings, travelling, playing, and then recovering from all the contact and the bruises and the injuries. Life was cruising along for us fairly well. We were happy, we were healthy, and we were living the Kiwi dream. I was nearing retirement of my professional footy career and had already started moving into broadcasting and commentating. I'd commentate on men's and women's national and international rugby games, which is pretty rare for female commentators, especially in male-dominated sports like rugby. I was the first female to commentate an NRL National Rugby League men's game in 2021. This moment was a milestone that catapulted my career as a broadcaster. However, this was also the year our whole world changed. Towards the end of 2021, Rochelle's first symptoms started. She had a constant itch all over her body, and she had started losing weight. Sorry. She had started losing weight and became jaundiced. On December 1st, 2021 was the first date that we heard the word cholangiocarcinoma. Her bloods had shown her bilirubin was extremely high and she was sent for CT scans. Initially, they thought she had a gallstone stuck in the bile duct, but when 4 doctors take you into a private room in the hospital, you know it's not going to be good news. The only words we heard that day was stage 4 cancer, no cure, inoperable, and palliative chemo. Rochelle's diagnosis was extrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma with metastases to her lung, ovaries, abdomen, and lymph nodes. She was admitted to the hospital that day. We called our sons to meet us so we could break the news to them. This was definitely the hardest part, to look into their eyes, and through their tears, we could see and feel their despair. I call this part of the journey to Paul, the darkness. This is a concept that speaks to resilience, navigating through the darkness. It's never straightforward. This is where we encounter plenty of challenges and setbacks. We were lost, we were confused, shocked, and mostly stuck in the mindset of why us. By day 2, Rochelle was rushed into surgery as she needed drains put in. I was extremely angry and scared, and I just felt numb. To express my anger and fear, I turned to journaling, which was a practice I picked up as an athlete. I would like to share with you a snippet that I wrote in my journal on that day. You've just gone into surgery, my love, and as I walked you into theatre, I thought, man, my wife is amazing. All I could see was your beautiful smile, which is an outside reflection of your beautiful heart. This is just hurdle number 1 in the journey that we're about to start on, a journey to fight for your life, to heal and live a happy and healthy, long life together. We will grow old together because we promised we would. We can't sugarcoat what's happening, and the heartbreak of hearing your diagnosis felt like someone had stabbed me right through the heart. And then I turn and look at you, and your face is sad, but your eyes say it's going to be okay. That's you all over, so strong, but your strength really stands up when we are faced with hard times. Tears flow as the deja vu of this moment comes to mind, thinking of our mums and the journey we had both been down this road before. They are not here with us physically, but I believe 100% they are here, they are beside us in spirit. So what now? Who the fuck knows? And all I know is that I will do anything and everything to fight this illness. We hold on to hope, we hold on to belief, and we always look to our future. I went into overdrive, Googling and seeking out help. This is where I first found the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation, and I read as much as I could. I then turned to social media and followed every cholangio page I could find, including patients, caregivers, doctors from all around the world. So I'd like to apologise at this point if you've randomly got a friend request from me way back then. I was desperate and I just thought, stuff it, I'm just going to stalk everyone and anyone possible. I found the New Zealand Cholangiocarcinoma Awareness page on Facebook, and this led me to an amazing cholangio survivor, Mandy Wallace. Mandy guided me through the first few days and weeks in hospital, advising me on what questions to ask the doctors, through to where to find the right support and the oncologists. Rochelle underwent 4 surgeries and multiple attempts to get drains and stents in, Initially, she had external drains inserted, then 2 permanent metal stents with 2 plastic stents inside the metal stents that get changed out every 12 weeks. She suffered with sepsis, pancreatitis, and was deteriorating rapidly. Te whaiao, the transitional phase. This is the moment where you start to arise. You start to take action, you start to anticipate and move forward and move out of the darkness. During that initial 22 hospital admission, we were told you will likely have 6 to 12 months to live, so go home and enjoy your last Christmas. We'd been referred to an oncologist at the public hospital, but couldn't see anyone for 6 to 8 weeks due to it being the holiday season in New Zealand. There was no way I was going to let my wife wait that long, and while this cancer infested her body. I reached out to a rugby mate whose husband was a doctor, and he connected us with an oncologist in Auckland who started Rochelle on first-line treatment of GemCis on Christmas Eve. After her 3-week cycle of chemo, our eldest son, who had just turned 21, told us that we were going to be grandmothers. He and his partner were expecting a baby girl, and this news gave Rochelle real motivation to keep fighting. Rochelle completed 7 months on GemCis and had a great response. She had significant shrinkage and was advised to have a break from chemo. While on the break, we sought out a second opinion with a liver specialist surgeon in New Zealand. The surgeon felt he could remove the remaining nodules and told us she would be cancer-free. We were ecstatic, and obviously we jumped at the opportunity and ignored the caution messages from her oncologist. We wrung our family in tears and had a big party to celebrate. The surgery was booked for March 24 in 2003. Unfortunately, the surgeon found multiple nodules which had not shown on the PET scan, and he could not continue the procedure. Post-surgery, she was in significant pain, spiking fevers, and vomiting. We felt like they rushed her to discharge from the private hospital, and 2 days later, Rochelle ended up back in public hospital with sepsis, and the scans revealed that her bile duct had been nicked and bile was leaking inside of her. This resulted in her having another 12-day hospital admission to fight the infection and have external drains put in to clean up the leaking bile. Foundation 1 testing had not shown any biomarker matches for Rochelle, so she started on another cycle of GemCis. But during this treatment, she had cysts growing on her ovaries, which were getting significantly bigger in size. She was then referred to a gynecologist who suspected she had secondary ovarian cancer and recommended she have a full hysterectomy. In December last year, exactly 2 years from the day she was initially diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma, Rochelle underwent another surgery to have a hysterectomy and her ovaries removed. Thankfully, the cysts were non-malignant, which was a huge relief. Rochelle spent another 8 weeks recovering from the hysterectomy procedure, and almost instantly, the effects of surgical menopause then started. Surgical menopause has a more sudden and severe onset of menopausal symptoms, and she is now required to take HRT, hormonal replacement therapy, for the next 10 years. For any woman out there going through or who have already been through menopause and fighting cancer at the same time, you women are absolute champions. And to any caregivers, partners out there supporting their loved one through this, I encourage you to be patient, be understanding, and find out as much as you can about menopause. Knowledge is power, and we need to encourage more open conversations supporting women through menopause. This brings me to the enlightenment phase. Te ao marama. This is both a destination and new beginning. It's where we reflect, reset, and celebrate. This stage is ongoing improvement, where we continue to adapt and thrive. Rochelle's cancer is currently stable. She is on a chemo holiday and scheduled for scans when we get back to New Zealand. Until then, we choose to live our best life. We're actually flying to Vegas tonight, which is on our bucket list. As a caregiver, deep down, all we want is the best for our loved ones to survive and live well. I acknowledge all the caregivers in the room. I have no doubt we are all doing our best. We are all doing the best we can with the circumstances we are in. We won't get it right all the time, but don't be too hard on yourselves. I encourage you to ensure you are showing yourself some love. Know your limits. You can't operate from an empty cup, so do the things that fill your cup so you can better support your person. I find my solace in doing things that I love, spending time with our granddaughter, playing sports, swimming in our rivers back home, and sunbathing. These things I do to try refill my cup. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that in order to be the best wife and caregiver, I have to replenish my spirit. It's not selfish, it's a necessity that enables us to function well and give more to those we care for. I recently picked up a second job working for the local hospice as a cultural support person with patients and families. It's a real privilege to support people through end-of-life care. It involves a lot of listening, understanding, and supporting these people to not only live well with the time that they have left, but to die well also. This doesn't make it any easier for my personal situation, but it has given me a lot better insight into palliative care and the importance of holistic support. I want to mention some of the highlights that we've had since being on this Cholangio journey. We've connected and created our own Cholangio New Zealand community, led by Mandy, who I mentioned earlier, and in February 2021, we joined the Light It Green for CCA World Cholangio Day to raise awareness in New Zealand. I reached out to as many of my sports celebrity friends, asking them to post up on social media platforms to help us raise awareness. I contacted the Auckland Sky City and was shocked when they said they were happy to light up the Sky Tower green. We managed to get coverage across national TV channels, newspapers, and other online media platforms to support Light It Green campaign. I was blown away by the support from Kiwis. We had so many new cholangio patients reach out to us after that who we were able to connect with. Later that year, I auctioned off a signed New Zealand rugby jersey to raise funds to hold our own New Zealand Cholangio conference. We raised enough funds to host our first conference last year, which was mostly focused on connection and sharing stories and knowledge amongst patients and caregivers. It's so powerful when we can share our stories with people who are on the same journey. In closing, I want to introduce to you all a Māori model of health, which was developed by Dr. Mason Jury, called Te Whare Tapawha. Whare is a house, and tapawha relates to the four walls of the house. The house is a representation of a person, and the four walls are the dimensions that are required for the overall health and well-being of a person. Taha Wairua is the spiritual dimension, which is about your beliefs and your values. You might reflect on your heritage or where you are from and where you are going. It can be related to your religious beliefs, but also your connection to your own spirit and soul. Taha Hinengaro is our mental and emotional well-being, how we think and respond to challenges and seek clarity of our thoughts and our emotions, how we see ourselves and our perceptions of others. Taha Tinana is the physical element, a body that is fit for purpose, being comfortable in your body, being pain-free, being free of pain or illness, acknowledging and adapting to your physical limitations, and how do we nurture our changing body. Taha whānau is about our family, our relationships, and a sense of belonging. Is our family connected or disconnected, or do we need to clean out our circle of people or build new connections? Are our friendships harmful or hurtful, and do we thrive in these relationships? The bottom pillar is taha whenua, which relates to the environment and the land. Do we have a strong connection to the elements, be it land, water, oceans, rivers, or nature? In my culture, we associate to landmarks. Our mountains, rivers, oceans, these are what underpin who we are. We generally introduce ourselves through these places. These are our roots that ground us, the places our tribes affiliate to and where we can stand strong. This model I use as a tool to help us to maintain a balance within our lives as we navigate this cancer. When things get hard, we use this model to check in with the four dimensions to try gain clarity, find hope, and most of all, continue to survive and thrive. This conference has been amazing, and I just want to thank the outstanding people of the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation. We have learnt so much and connected with so many inspiring people. Thank you all for allowing me to share my care perspective. A tēnei te mihi atu ki a koutou katoa.